Prime Minister Modi is in Kerala today and tomorrow as well. He'll be inaugurating prestigious development projects, including India's first digital science park, the Kochi water metro. He'll be flagging off the Vande Bharat train from Thiruvananthapuram tomorrow as well. As part of the program, there's a road show and a public meeting in Kochi today and a public event at the Kerala Central Stadium tomorrow. Mr. Modi is expected to be at a youth conclave and significantly will be meeting bishops from various churches. It's being seen as a big push by the BJP to gain some foothold in Kerala ahead of the 2024 parliament elections in a state where they haven't made much headway in the past.
The BJP has made it clear that in the south, the next target is going to be Kerala, and that's one reason why we saw Mr. Amit Shah there in Thrissur just recently, and now Mr. Modi on a two-day visit, Kochi and Thiruvananthapuram, as you mentioned. And the reach out is with three things. I mean, they are talking about development, so multiple projects that he is in fact inaugurating, all of which you listed out, and then the youth conclave that he is going to be attending and where he is going to be interacting with lots of youngsters there. Many of them, of course, also tend to go abroad looking for job opportunities, looking for more, a better future. And this is a segment that the Prime Minister will be addressing. You must remember that as part of his inauguration, is also going to be inaugurating the Digital Science Center, which is going to be the first of its kind, in fact, in the country, and something that promises a leap into the future for Kerala as well. And the third part of it, as you mentioned, is the meeting with bishops and Christian church leaders. And what we have seen actually over the last few, not just weeks, I would say months, is that very, very proactively the BJP has reached out to this particular segment of the population. We also saw the Prime Minister, in fact, go to the Sacred Cathedral Church in Delhi on Easter Day, April 9, where he in fact lit the lamp as well as planted a tree. And that was certainly a message to the entire community that BJP is no longer wanting to be seen as a party that is only meant for the Hindu majority, but a party which is in fact reaching out to the minorities as well, and in this case the Christian minorities as well. And just on Vishu Day, which falls on April 14th, we saw several senior BJP leaders, including Mr. Prakash Javadekar and others, in fact inviting bishops and church leaders over breakfast, and they all had breakfast together in what seemed like a cozy atmosphere. And just a few weeks ago, we also saw, in fact, a bishop from Talasheri talk about the fact that the BJP could win MP seats in Kerala if only they promised, support prices for rubber, an issue that has been bothering the farmers in that area, Kottayam area, the rubber belt area as well. And all these things put together, in fact, Muralidharan, Minister from Kerala, Union Minister from Kerala, in fact said that, yes, we are going to very proactively look at this. And he said after the statement of the bishop, the bishop had been told, and he says that is because the Congress, or rather the UDF, has been looking at the Christian community as a vote bank, and that's the reason why they are now feeling insecure, that the bishop has suggested that the BJP is really not an untouchable and it's not a pariah party, and that's a community that that is now reaching out. So what we are seeing is the Christian community as well as the Saffron Party, the Sangh Parivar in Kerala, which has actually been quite strong in the coastal regions, that area, those two coming together and developing a relationship. And only in recent days we also saw Mr. Anil Anthony, son of Mr. A.K. Anthony, also joining the BJP, sending out the message that for the Christian community in Kerala, BJP is no longer a party that they will not be identifying themselves with. So that is the push that the Prime Minister is doing. As you mentioned, there is Vande Bharat on their cards, and they are going to be having the very prestigious and very interesting Kochi metro water project as well.
Well, let's go across to my colleague Megha, who's also tracking this story closely. Now, there are a lot of issues which the Prime Minister will have to address when it comes to the Christian community. There are conversions, for example, on religious conversion and religious conversion bills. And I believe that, there were bishops recently who also met the President, and some of these issues were raised in that meeting. So what is the strategy of the BJP and the Prime Minister in Kerala?
Well, Vishnu, if I were to keep my answer only to the BJP strategy here, I would tell you that say in the last 3 months or so, there has been a discernible change in terms of BJP's reaching out to these communities, whether it is the Muslim community or for that matter the Christian community. And if I remember correctly, Vishnu, this would be perhaps the second such interaction that the Prime Minister is having with the leaders of the Christian community. Remember, just two and a half weeks back, he went to a church for the Easter Mass here in the national capital, and today, of course, he's meeting top 8 community leaders there in Kerala. So what the party tells us is this, that, you know, from the time, and this, the change one has witnessed and one is observing from the time the Prime Minister spoke about it in the National Executive of the Bharatiya Janata Party end of January this year, where the Prime Minister in his speech to the National Executive told one and all of the Bharatiya Janata Party that this is now going to be one of the priorities of the party, to be seen as more inclusive, to no longer be seen just as a Hindu party, but a party that is ready to break the barriers and reach out to the other communities. And perhaps, you know, in keeping with this decision or the strategy of the party, that you are seeing this kind of an outreach. That's number one. Politically speaking here, Vishnu, you know, there's a sense that the BJP gets from Kerala is that, you know, the situation there on the ground is right for them to perhaps make inroads within the Christian community in that state. They are, of course, heavily relying on the fact, or their own, you know, internal understanding is that the people in this community are quite disenchanted with the ruling left command there in Kerala. And that this is, you know, the ground has prepared itself for the BJP to sort of try and capitalize on that. So they are, number one, you know, moving in that direction. The other thing is that there was a statement from the BJP state chief in Kerala suggesting that there are lots of important and prominent people who are wanting to join the BJP fold, and some that they themselves are going to go and send an invite to for them to come over. So basically here is an exercise on the ground where they're trying to, you know, test the waters and have some sort of an understanding by way of maybe information that they are privy to, or maybe surveys that they have done, which tells them that the time is right for them to basically, you know, build upon their cadre in Kerala. And this is, mind you, Vishnu, this is not for the assembly elections. This is keeping in mind 2024 and the gains that they are expecting to pick up for the Lok Sabha, in the Lok Sabha polls.